Hey everybody, I am going to make a little Christmas decoration today, and he's kind of inspired by this little guy. It's a Christmas ornament that I had found, and I thought he was just adorable, so I wanted to do a little craft. I'm just going to set him over here. Okay, so the first thing I did was I took some little sticks that I had, and I'd gotten them off of Amazon, and I cut them down and I made some little skis, and I just paper mache'd because I had to cut off the tip and then shape it into a point, and when I glued it back on, you know, I wanted it to have the little curve. So once I did that, I paper mache'd over it and then painted them. Alright, and then I used these little half rounds, painted them, and they're going to be the little boots. So I went ahead and put those on. I'm going to just set those aside. And the other thing that I'm going to be using is I had some of these left over. They came from the Dollar Tree. They were little picks, so I took out the stem and the pick, and this is going to be a body. And let me just grab some other stuff here. We're also going to be using this little pick from the Dollar Tree. And I had some Christmas material. We're going to use that. And we're going to be using pipe cleaners, 2 of those. They will make our little arms. And then a little piece of the felt there for the mitten at the end. And the pick that the pumpkin was on, I just cut it into pieces. That's going to be the little sticks for the skis. And then I cut out a couple of pieces of felt, little circles, also to go on the skis. Whenever I looked at this ornament, this is just felt. Now it's been stiffened, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'll just put him over here. And then I've got my hot glue gun hot and ready to go. And I do want to take off these the fall leaves here. Okay, so it's left a big glob. I'm not worried about that because we're going to put a decoration right over it anyway, or we may even bend our little hat over and put a little pom-pom or something on the end. So we're going to lay that aside. And I have a craft knife here. I just want to kind of shave off a little flat area here. Doesn't have to be perfectly flat, but just didn't want it round down at the bottom. And if you wanted to go with the sweater feel, you could use a child's sock and just cover this. That would also be cute. What I'm going to do, I just want to cover it with this material, and this can just be bunched up at the top. It's no big deal. I'm just going to put a few little pats of glue down here. I'm going to pull it up against the pumpkin. Just let that set up a little bit. And then just kind of bunch this up. Now once you get this pulled up, you can just use a rubber band. I'm just going to use a piece of cloth, cut into a tiny strip like a string, and just tie it off. If you have yarn or wire, you know, maybe like a even one of the little Christmas tree hangers, that's a little piece of wire you could use. It doesn't have to be pretty, it's going to be hidden. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there just to make sure it doesn't come undone. And we're going to let that set. While that is setting up, we're going to work on the other arm. I've got one done here just to kind of show you. But I'm going to fold this over just to hide the raw edges. Now if you had a little piece of ribbon, you could just put some ribbon on the raw edges. And you wouldn't even have to do this step. The first thing though I'm going to do is put the little glove on the hand. And so to keep the bulk down, I have one side just a little bit thinner than the other. So I'm going to put some glue right there. And put that down. I'll let that set just a few seconds. Then when I fold this over, I can tuck the sides in without having double the thickness of the felt. So I'm going to put a little on the edge there. And a little in the middle. And just tuck that over. And down on the sides. And then hold those until it sets. You can see here I've just folded that over and tucked it under when I glued it. So we're going to glue this down over to one side, and then I'm going to just leave a little bit of the glove showing. So you can see there, something like that. So let's put a little bit of glue down to hold it. Now I used a pipe cleaner. You could use anything. You could just use a little piece of batting, just something to keep it from being flat. Really, that needed to be a little longer, so I may make a complete loop around it because that needed to come out to here, ideally. I mean, it's an ornament. Nobody's going to look at it that close, but that's how I did the other one, and it worked out well. So we'll just let this set up. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to put just a little bit of glue right along the edge. So I can fold that over. We don't want any raw edges. If you wanted to take the time to iron these edges, it would be a lot quicker and easier. All right, now we just want to glue it down. Oop, way too much glue there. Pull this up and over till we have our little sleeve. And just hold it really tight so that it gets a good grab and sets up. Now I'm just going to trim up some of this, get it off. Now we're going to take this little guy, and you can see right up under his beard there we've got some room to play with, that we can tuck this in. And actually, you know what? You can see how little space there is versus this bulky stuff here. We'll see if we can get a little more off, but if not, we can trim down that that's inside there. It's just styrofoam, so a craft knife will work. Take out some of that styrofoam. Alright, so just decide what you want the front to be and what you want the back to be. And then we're going to put lots of glue in there, and then we're just going to hold this for a while until it really grabs on. We're going to be careful with the hair. Just move it out of the way, because our glue concentration is going to be on the inside. I think I can get a little bit more of that out. I don't want it all to come out because it's helping to give a little bit of a 3D. So I'm just going up in there and very carefully cutting at some of that styrofoam to pull it out. Okay. I'm happy with that. So again, let's get that hair out of the way. And we're just going to drop in a ton of glue. And then grab this and push it in. And really push it. And just hold it. We're still going to have to put a little more glue just around the edge of the beard. But for now, we're just wanting this to set up. And that was a lot of glue, so we're going to hold it. Okay, so now that that has set up, we're just going to pull this apart slightly so that we can get just a little bit of glue in there at the edge of the beard and push it down. Same thing, just kind of go around in a few spots. You don't have to go all the way around, you know, one long strip of glue. Just you want to secure it a little bit. And we want that to set up before we brush that hair back down over it. We're going to lay that aside. Now, this, because it's felt, we won't have to do a whole lot to punch a hole through this. Okay, now I have, you can use a toothpick, but I've got this little skewer that has a sharp point. So I'm going to go into the center and just burrow a hole. And now I can take this one and put it into that little hole. Now I'm going to pull it up just a little farther than I actually want it and put just a tiny bit of glue. That's too much. So we'll just grab this and just kind of smear it around and take off the bulk. And now push this down so that it kind of gets in that hole and it'll hold it. And lay that aside and do the other one. A smaller glue gun would be ideal for this project too. Now let's just kind of smear it around, taking off the excess, and push that down so that that glue is in the hole. And then we'll lay that aside. Now we can decide how we want the arms. If we want them just, coming forward, and then we will of course attach the little ski. Or if we want them like this, his little arms are upward, holding the ski poles. Or maybe we could do one up and then one a little more down. These will be tucked up under the beard as well. I think this one I'm going to put kind of at an angle, a little upward angle. Oh, mine hadn't quite set up yet. Being very careful to try to keep it out of the hair. Okay, and now we grab the other arm. We'll take it up a little further. So I've got the glue on, staying under the hair so that I don't get it in the glue. And I'm going to put it in an upward. Okay, so now we can go ahead and start pulling our little beard down. Making sure everything is okay, that we didn't get any glue spots on it. And that beard's going to help hide your shoulders there where we put the glue on. No raw edges showing. And then we'll pull this down in the front. And now we can go ahead and put him on his skis. And you can decide if you want them, kind of at an angle like that, or if you just want them straight on, whatever you want. And I just want to make sure that we are good there. Okay. Oops, put that glue up there on the top. And then just set him down and hold him. Okay, so right now, while that is still setting up, I'm sure, because it was a large spot of glue, I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of glue on the skis and tuck those in. Now, one thing I kind of wish I had done, so just an FYI in case you decide to do it, you know where I folded his little glove over? I should have left a small opening, lid this right up inside that glove. But that's an afterthought, so I'm going to have to just go with this instead. And that is get just a little glue on there and just tuck it in to his glove here. When I make another one, that's what I'll do. I'll just go ahead and put the skis in his hand when I do the entire arm. Okay, and then we'll find the other one. And this is so lightweight that it doesn't take a lot of glue. Now I'm just going to grab a little trim. I'm going to start in the back, and I'm just going to put this silver ribbon where normally would be the fuzzy part of the hat. You know, with this beard, we don't really need anything white there. I think the silver will show it better. So we'll start back here in the back and just put a little bit of glue. Okay, now it's on there pretty good, but not as good as I want, we'll say. Put some more glue in there and set him back down and let that grab on. And I think what I'm going to do, I don't have them here to finish him, but the closer Christmas gets in the miniature section, you can find the little miniature Christmas lights like these that's on the material. I think what I'm going to do is use some of those up here on a decoration. I'm going to probably put like a snowflake or a miniature poinsettia there, but I want those lights kind of hanging down since that's the material on his arms and his little body. So, but this is the basics, so if you wanted to make one. So you guys have a great week. Bye.